Hey guys, it's Father Time. And that's proof right there, it's Father Time. Please don't forget to subscribe down there. Click on my face and subscribe. Trying to build our followership as of this morning, like 1,170. We're in Air New Zealand at Queenstown going to Auckland. And I want to try something. And I am not an expert at this. Please don't think that I'm trying to instruct the Air New Zealand guys or anyone who's flown into Queenstown would be able to tell you if I'm doing it right. But here we are in Air New Zealand colors, getting ready to take off on runway 5. Now, it is a mountainous terrain. If you'd like to watch my other videos, I did an RNAV approach, an arrival into here, RNAV approach, another video, RNAV from Wellington on in here with a missed approach to back in for a nice hard landing. We're in a 787. I think Air New Zealand flies A320s down here. So this is not realistic. If you take a look at our takeoff data, this is important. Let's talk about this for just a second. I'm at a dash 10. I only had dash 9 data, but it's similar. So we're at 1,000 feet AFL, around 11. This is our VMCG. What is that? Right about here, 125. I think of that as min unstick speed. That means you don't want to go airborne below that airspeed. If you do, you won't have the rudder authority to fly it. If you keep it on the ground, you've got braking, and things to help you control. But if you're relying on flight controls only, ailerons, rudders, spoilers, you're not going to have enough airflow over the control surfaces below 125. So I think of that as our min unstick speed, meaning if we're going out, and we haven't reached our V1 yet, and we have to rotate because we've got 1,000 feet remaining. If we're below VMCG, we're not going to be able to fly. We're not going to have the control authority in the event of an engine loss. It's minimum unstick speed is what I think of. In our bugs for flaps 20, which I'll set here in a second, at here we are, 1,000 feet, 33 or colder, coming on down, 400,000 pounds, 31, 32, 37. I don't think we actually have the airspeed, the runway to do this, but I want to try something here. Let's take a look around, guys. Let's have a little fun. Runway 5. Come down that valley on the RNAV, coming up over the mountains, down that valley. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I did buy the Queenstown from Inibuilds. What a nice package this is. If you want to try some challenging flying, and also be able to spend a little money, get some beautiful views of the little terminal at Queenstown. 14,000 people live here. There's Qantas. Now you know who flies in here, right? Virgin Australia. Air New Zealand. This is so cool. You guys are so smart who designed this stuff. You really are. What's down here? It's another part of the terminal. Anyway, that's runway 5. You come in down over the valley. But this procedure, in the event of engine out, I do believe, I'm going to take a look at it. Oh, look what they have us. Are you kidding me? All the way down the runway. Guys, I gotta get some back at the end of the runway. That ain't going to work. Yeah, okay. You know what? I will pause it. And I got to turn this bad boy around, this big monster around, and go to the end of the runway. There's no way. There's no way. But anyway, I think the engine out, which I want to show you here. We'll talk while we can, right? ZQN to Auckland. All right, let's do that one. And we're going to go approach this one. And approach. And VFR departure circuit procedure. Probably the most famous procedure here, right? Remain northeast of Sunshine Bay. So you basically see you're coming up over this mountain here. It looks like 4,000 feet. Paraglide. I'm just kind of looking at this stuff. Yeah, 3,000 or 4,000. Come on up. Go on over. Stay over the bay, and then you turn back around, and you fly around that mountain out there until you come on in final in a range. I think that's it. Air New Zealand guys, anybody else, all you guys who have flown out of here, let me know if I got that right. But I know I got one little problem. So to recap, I think I just got to basically fly out here, maintain VFR, then fly back around this mountain and come back in and land on runway 5. Then we'll try the IFR approach. But we got a big problem first in that there ain't no way, baby. There's no way I'm getting off on that runway. So I'll be back. Let me go straighten this out. All right, it's Father Time. I'm back. I've done this through the miracle of differential braking. I'm sure the brakes are left brake is really heated up. I put myself at the end using this turn pad on runway 05. Now we're going to fly out this way, lose an engine, and execute. Just to review this circuit pattern here. Go up. You can see this minimum altitude there. We're about 1,000 feet field elevation. Fly over this 2,000 foot peak, so we got to get ourselves up there, engine out, fly around, and do that little figure 8 pattern in for the VFR approach land. That's the fly between these two peaks. I've got the inside the cockpit. I've got the HUD up. I've got the flight path vector selected, which is right here. And that comes up on my PFD right here. Flight path vector. Pretty much a VFR return in here for the approach. Let's try a VFR. All right, let's go. Enough of that drone stuff. What do I have on takeoff data? Fuel low center. Yeah, I've got to fix that one before I get going here. It's always a good idea to run the checklist. Lights are all on. Turn all these on. And the only way I'm going to be able to fail the engine, guys, is to reach down and chop it off. So I'll probably wait till after view 1 just so it's not too terribly sporting for you to watch. Here's our terrain on. Basically the figure 8 pattern would go like this, like that, and that's a VFR figure 8. I'm going to try this on an IMC. I'm not sure. The Air New Zealand guys could tell us what's legit and what isn't. What you can actually do here, what you can't. Is it daylight only? Is it VFR only? I mean, this obviously is. I'm sure there's a minimum ceiling. Their company procedures. There must be a special checkout into here for an airport such as this. Anyway, let's have a little fun. I'll start the engine failure. Let's talk about the little toga system on the 7.8. I'm not a 7.8 pilot. I'm a 777 pilot. Been around a long time. Just retired recently. Let's get this runway heading all slewed up. After 36 years with American Airlines, Air Force before that, and I retired about 5 weeks ago. And I'm just doing flight simming and having a blast. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. See if we can't figure this out. All right. All right. Get this where I can kind of see. I like to be able to see the PFD as well as the HUD. All right. Parking brakes are off. 40%. Hold the brakes. 40%. I'm going to let the power go all the way up. Toga. Because we are right at max takeoff weight for this runway, which is 400,000 pounds. Oh, config stabilizer. That would be... Here it is. Goes down. What do you think, kids? What do you think, Bobby? You guys don't know Bob. I fly with him every flight. Extremely quiet. Nice blow-up dial, but not a lot of help. Let's get out of here. Remember, minimum unstick speed, our V1's like 131, and our minimum unstick speed is like 120 something, so we'll rotate with 1,000 feet, but if we're below 120 and we lose an engine, 121, we don't have the authority to fly, the flight control authority. So there it is, min, unstick speed, right about there. Rotate, let's get out of here. Positive rate, gear up. Now, moment of truth. All right, engine failure on the left engine, so right rudder. Let's get it flying. And I'm going to tell Bob. He says engine failure right in. That's a little tricky there. Now there's my mountain range out there. And I am right at my min control speed. It's not accelerating. Let's go all the way up. Max power. Yeah, the power came all the way back. And I should have been out around that mountain, but I didn't have the authority. That ain't good. See, we're way off the runway heading, but we can maintain in the valley. Just kind of keep it climbing up very, just do a mayday here. Yeah, my airspeed got slow when I reached down to shut off the auto throttle, so made it a little challenging. I put the speed up a little. See if we can't get this thing cleaned up a little. 4,000 is the circuit altitude. Take a look out. I'm supposed to be to the right side of that valley. This is our flight path vector. It's coming around right here. That's where airplane's going. I'm going to take out the LNAV. We don't need that. I'll use heading select just to get rid of the erroneous things. We can keep it going around, doing our little circuit pattern, staying within the valley. Yeah, so when I reached down to fail the engine, I didn't have the rudder authority to at full right rudder in to maintain my path. Now there's the two values that we have to stay. I'm going to go around to the right of this one, fly in between those at 4,000. What I'm using, guys, is flight path vector here. This flaps 20, we can go up a little bit. And we can go to flaps 5. I think that's flaps 5. Let me take a look down. Nope. Flaps 5, let the airplane accelerate a little. Got our mayday, tell them our intentions to come back around and land on runway 5 here. So our plan is to fly around this mountain and land on 5. We should have done is gone to the right of this mountain here, but we went to the left of it. What are you going to do? Climbing up through 3. See that? I'm going to leave my flaps at 5, bring my airspeed back. I'm doing this auto throttles, autopilot. Let's do auto throttles off too, which they are. Circuit pattern altitude, I think they want you around 4. That should make that turn through that valley. If you got a terrain, I got to be honest with you, I don't fly the 7.8. I've never flown it. I'm not positive where the, I'm just trying to maintain around 200 knots because that's above my flaps 5 speed. And we should be up around 4,000. Watching my flight path vector, it's above the horizon, so I know I'm climbing. Now when I level at 4, all I got to do is put this little guy on the horizon like that, bring the power back on the right engine. Now Bob will be running the, Bob is actually with it today. Bob will be running the engine failure checklist, which would get the, I can't do it in this airplane, it won't do it. The left auto throttle off, left throttle off, and Bob would actually reach up and he'd start the APU for me to get a second generator. Right, Bobby? To date, Bob has never said a word. There's 4,000. There's our mountain range. Start a nice easy turnaround. Try to get ourselves in that valley. We're going to land flaps 20. If we're going to go around, it's flaps 5, guys, because we're at engine out. And look outside. How cool is that? I start a nice easy descent around 1,000-foot field elevation. Nice and easy. Trim, 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 friend. I think we better get the gear down. Keep it coming around. I actually don't know where I am, so I'm going to have to make a little adjustment for that. Flaps a little more.
2,500.
Let's take a look outside, maybe. Yeah, gotta fly around this mountain, right? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Back inside. You know, if you're in the real airplane, it's a little easier to see where you're going, right? We do know it's about a 1,200-foot elevation, so I don't want to get much lower than this. Right now about 1,500 feet AFL. Looking for the runway. There it is. Through the Miracle Sim Hood. Let's get the speed back. And auto brakes max.
1,000.
Back inside. Final. I'm going to try this IFR after I grease this on. I see red over white, so far so good. Let's get that flight path vector up a little though.
500.
Sinking 1,000, getting a little low. So bring the power way up. Bring that flight path vector up, 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 up. There's red over white. You all right? Red over white, you all right? Hello, cars.
50, 30, 20.
I'll take it. You kidding me? All right, what's the reverse? Because it's asymmetric, right? Maintaining center line. There's 80 knots. 60. 40. Stop straight ahead. Tell the flight attendants, Sir Captain, remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. Come out of reverse. That'd be nice. We'd have them roll the fire trucks, engine failure trucks. If we look good, you know what? We'd have to get towed in. We definitely would have to get towed in. So how do we do? Let's take a look out here. You guys that fly in here, I know. I don't know what I'm doing. But I did follow those procedures. Critiquing myself, which is always good, right? I was so slow in the airspeed when I reached down. I should have been probably about 140, 150. I was 131, which was darn close to that VMCG, which I was talking about. Had very little authority on the rudder. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's a good demonstration of that. And then only when I got up above about 135 did I have the control authority to fly the airplane. So it's really important. That VMCG is very important. I should have been going out here around this peak. Instead I went to the left of it, came through here and did the circuit. All right, let's pause it. I'll put us back at the end of the runway. We'll try an IMC condition. Guys who fly in here, let me know what I did wrong. All right, I don't know about this one. I am sure this is not legal for you guys who fly into Queenstown. In the junk, taken off. And why isn't it legal? The airplanes are certainly capable of doing this 2-engine. Let's take a look at it. The departure is runway heading, intercept the Q43, just big looping left-hand turn at or above 6,000, at or above 6,500 on out. I think there must be an engine out IMC conditions in here that are similar. You know, might be left turn back over Queenstown. I don't know. We'll see how this works out. I don't think we can fly this, meet these max airspeed 180, 195. with an engine out. We'll give it a shot though. Yeah. All right. Not completely confident on this one, guys. Let's go. So I'm going to go bring the power up to 40% or so. And why is the engine's coming up? There they go. It's 40%, reasonable. Toga. Parking brakes are off. Here we go. What could go wrong? Looking for an acceleration check of 80 knots. Remember, we see those red and white center line lights. It's 2,000 feet remaining. 80 knots. Yikes. Minimum min control airspeed is right about there.
V1.
I'm gonna rotate with 1,000 remaining. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Alright guys. A good speed here, right? Nose down a little bit. Right rudder. This thing has an augmentation computer. We are still in LNAV. Wow, look at that airspeed drop off. And the power came back. That wasn't good. No siree. Let's do the auto throttles off. Take those off so we can control the power, because the power actually came back. Mayday, mayday, mayday. And it's Air New Zealand 603. Sorry to even use your call sign, guys. That's probably your Paul with that. And there goes the bars. We have some at or aboves, which I'm not sure we're going to make, but we're going to keep it dirty here. Climbing on out. I'm afraid to bring up any flaps. Stay right in the bars. I don't think the autopilot can handle this, so I'm not going to put it on. Engine failure, left engine. Bob's running the checklist. We're not in a big hurry, Bob, because we got mountains and stuff. I can see we're barely climbing. Got to get our airspeed up. I'm going to speed intervene and bring this airspeed way up. I think it's 180 knots max, 190. You can see that the bars are telling us to bring the nose up to meet the altitude restrictions. We got a little bit of VFR here. We can do that. Wow. Can't afford to bring any flaps up. Just trying to fly our VMs, our LNAV, but not really following those bars because it's trying to make the altitude, and I'm trying to not get down slow. Just doing a good job. And we don't have any of the, it's actually flying the route. But we don't have any nav display guidance, do we? Interesting. Not the best demonstration because we can't see anything. Caution. And we know. Be nice if Bobby could start the APU for me. Airplane's starting to turn back. Wants to stay in the valley. Still got LNAV here, guys. It's flying the departure. Let me do something here just to make sure I ain't lying. Here it is. Yeah, take a look at that. For whatever reason, my nav display isn't indicating it. But there's my airplane, so that's not good to be descending. I'm hand flying because the autopilot's not going to work here. Well, we could try it, but I don't think it will work. Try it. No, the autopilot can't handle it. Well, that was a failed experiment. But it was worth a try, right? Keep it in the bars, LNAV. Yeah, I don't know why we're not getting the map display, guys, but nav display, but it's irrelevant. Most important thing is we're climbing, staying on the course. As you can see, we are, but for whatever reason, the nav display isn't indicating it. All right, so we know that the autopilot can't handle it, so we're just going to hand fly. We're really just struggling to stay in the valley. There are a couple of altitudes on here that were restrictions that we're not going to make, but so far we're not getting any terrain warnings. I'm just trying to climb up as slowly as I can. Yeah, there must be definitely some engine out IMC procedures, or it's not allowed. I don't know. Hand flying it, staying in the bars. As you can see, it's working. But these were at or above 6,500. Now, when we fly all the way back in to Auckland, we're scheduled to go to Auckland or Wellington or Christchurch. It's close. Or should we come back around and try to do the RNAV back into, watch it down here, RNAV. So the LNAV is working, definitely working. We're just trying to make those altitude restrictions. At or above 6, we made that one. At or above 6,500, made it. So we're doing okay. The only problem is we really don't have any guidance, do we? And this is climbing us all out towards Auckland. And naturally, we wouldn't come back in to land here. But let's say we had an uncontrolled fire, and we kind of had to. So let's all hand flying here. I like this view because I can see the PFD and the ND when I do this. 10,000 is a good altitude to start, and then we'll try to program it to come back in to land. Man, this thing barely making it. Yes, we could have done packs off and gotten a little more power out of it. Bobby, I don't think you ever started that APU up there, brother. We're barely. We really need that APU to get the second electrical source. So a couple of things, guys. I'll try to reprogram this box once we get level. I'm going to get up to 10 because I happen to know. Let's go back in here. And 9 for 10. NZQN, right? Departures, arrivals. RNAV Zulu. Runway 5, a Babu transition. Like this. Come in here. Nine for 10. Yeah, I didn't, let's go direct to Babu, guys. It's gonna be a left-hand turn. Man, we a piggy. We a piggy. All right, now we're going direct to Babu. But not really. This Captain Magnificent didn't put it up here. There's direct to Babu. And Ababu's between 12 and 10. So we should be good here at 10. Let's level it off at 10. Now we'll get some airspeed. Is she a piggy? Let me come back over here where I can actually see what I'm doing. There's Ababu direct. Trim, 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 trim. We can finally get some flaps up a little bit. It does say Ababu there. Ababu. A little more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Got to admit. Get the flaps up a little more. Go to flaps 5, and we'll leave them at flaps 5. And we're manual throttles, manual flying. We don't have an autopilot, don't have any auto throttles. We would definitely make our way over to Christchurch probably if we had the weather. Now, why don't we have a display here? Let me go plan, map. It's actually flying it. It does have it in the box. It must be a simism. It's in path, guys. This is challenging. Arnav Zulu. Up, 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 up. Naturally, I'd be handing the airplane over to Bobby here, letting him fly while I briefed it. Now we're in path. We have 14 miles to Ababu. Be nice if I get it trimmed up. Bob's run the engine failure checklist. It's going to be a flaps 20 landing. Brakes 4. Now we can go up into the overhead. We're cleared for everything. So we can set this down to 2300, which is the altitude. And fly it on in. Obviously, this is very irritating that we're not getting a representation on the nav display, guys. Not on either side. Let me go a little further out, maybe. There's 320, nothing. Turn off our wipers for now. Oh, let's get back in here and do this right. A little slow. Babu's 9 miles, and I was supposed to be at 10. And so I think it's going to fly it right. Oh, look at this, guys. Here it comes. RNAV Zulu. It's coming in nicely. All right, that was challenging. Yeah, Babu's between 12 and 10. I'll get down here a little more. 573. 573 is 9200. And that's 90, it's 10, it's Babu. 9200 at Sarda. We're clear for the RNAV approach. Finally got it trimmed up nicely. 82 and 71. 82, 71. So it's in there, but for whatever reason, it's not letting us. Let me go here, menu. Let me get rid of all the junk. Maybe it's got too much. Maybe it's got too much stuff displayed. You know? Yeah. All right, we got to go to Prague here, and I got to put 125 in page 4. That does the accuracy. You can tell, guys, I'm a little maxed out right now. Little maxed out. It's at 0.3 RNP. Yeah, it's a little bothersome that you don't have a nav display. I don't know why that's like that. Let me go map. I should have a nav display. Let me go this page 1 of 5. Is that the problem? Or buy a Babu? You go next page. Next page. Next page. Next page. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do that over again, right? Did that do it? Nope. All right, well, it's flying it. It knows where it is. So what we're waiting for here is the VNAV path guidance. Right now we're at flaps 5, 225 knots, and the VNAV path is starting to come down. There it is, it just showed up. So even though we don't have a nav display, it knows where it is and it's flying it. And how do we know? Through the miracle of sim hood. Right there. There it is. Just a simism, but we're going to fly it on down. We're going to maintain it. We're all autopilot off, auto throttles off. We never do this. We probably never would have taken off. Your Air New Zealand guys are probably croaking here. We probably would have gone on to Queens once we get out of there. Fortunate enough to get out of there. We're going to go on to Queenstown, but I'm sure that weather was below minimum. Of course, we're in a 787, so since when do we care about the legalities, right? I apologize for doing this for your Air New Zealand people, or even you New Zealanders, you Kiwis. I apologize for doing this in your colors. Should have done it in Boeing. All right, here comes our VNAV path right there. I'm just going to follow the bars, and we got it. Bring the power back, and follow it on down. Trying to stay right within those bars. Now, the big thing is on this FAF, if you remember, let's not go missed approach, but if we do, what's going to happen, I've got to get, when we pass the FAF, which is a mumbo, we definitely want, doing a little art here, we have to put the missed approach altitude up to 10,000 before we hit 2300, which is our NBA. Our decision altitude, which we're not going to put. I guess I could try to. That's a little ambitious, I think. I better not even do that. That's a little ambitious to put the 2300 MVA in there. There we go. The bars are following. I don't know. Why would we do this? Maybe we're on fire, the cabin's on fire, and we have to get it down as soon as possible. We do this. It's that or the airplane's going to be lost. Why wouldn't we go to, would it be safer to go up to another alternate where the weather's better like Christchurch? Well, not if the cabin's on fire. A little disconcerting, but for the visual purposes of this, we're going to let you watch down here to prove that we in fact have course guidance. Now, the truth is, we do have iPads that track the airplane, so we could use this in the event of a problem there, right? I need to get this heading slewed around here. Long way around in case we stay on your cross check. I just want to get this down to runway heading for the approach. Yeah, it's a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be, guys. Showing us a little bit below the VNAV, right? So I got to pull up, bring a little power in. Yeah, a little more challenging than I thought I was going to have to demonstrate. Back in the rain. Bring the airspeed back a little bit. Now we're engine out, so you know we got to be careful. We're definitely a little below the VNAV. You can see over here. Get on that path. It's very precise. Bring the power back a little. I want to start slowing. How far out are we? We are 11 miles. Go flaps 15. How about 180 knots? Mumbo's in 5 miles. Let's go gear down. Trim, trim, trim's your friend. Flaps 20. That'll be our final altitude. Speed brake lever's armed. Before landing checklist is complete. We're actually on final, guys. What is our approach speed? 151. That's not right. Nope. We are flaps 20, guys. So it's 156. Get back up to our course. We're tied up.
500.
Wouldn't help if Bob helped me out there, but he didn't. Head up here. Go speed back. Mumbo's about to go by. Once it does, we need to get 10,000 set there. It's going to do that little maneuver. There's a Mumbo. 0.2 miles. Man, it's a lot of work. All right, a Mumbo is no longer green, so I can set the altitude in there. 10,000. 10,900 is fine. It'll start its maneuver towards final here in a minute. Let's get the airspeed back. Yeah, hopefully we're able to land out of this, guys. There he goes. Just maneuver towards final. Starting to pick up the ground.
1,000.
Maneuvering. Yeah. There's minimums. We're on final. On fire, so we're going to keep bringing it on around. Captain's discretion. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all.
500.
Starting to pick up the runway. Runway in sight, a little low. Transitioning to land.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Put it down. One in reverse. Knots. 60. Man, oh man, oh man. Guys, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? So captain, remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. Park the brakes, and let's give this bird to maintenance. Okay, yeah, we should have gone missed approach at 2300. Didn't have the runway. Airplane's on fire, so we're going to execute the ground evac here. And ground evac checklist. And basically, he's going to go like this. I don't even know where the ground evac is on this airplane. Forward command. So before I do that, do this. And it doesn't work. All right, so let's say bing, 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 bing. It's all going. We shut down that. We shut down the APU. We open the pressurization. We shut down the APU, and we start doing our evac. And flaps, we just leave up, down, and say, this is your captain. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate. It's going, and we're getting out because the airplane is on fire. That was fun. It wasn't legal, and it probably wasn't good, but it sure was fun. All right, guys. Father Time's out. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave comments, your Air New Zealand guys, or anybody who flies in there. All right. Take care.